The Socratic Seminar is a formal text-based discussion led by open-ended questions which are posed to a group. It allows students to listen closely to each other, think critically, and respond to their peers. The skills practiced during a Socratic Seminar are essential for students. It's important for them to know how to ask questions, listen to various answers, and respond to a variety of perspectives. After learning about different Eastern religions, comparing and contrasting belief systems, and learning to make observations and draw conclusions from primary sources, students will be ready to tackle the unit's essential question: what role do belief systems play in a society? Throughout the unit, they have focused on what are the characteristics of a religion or belief system? Why and how did the major religions and belief systems of the Eastern Hemisphere develop? How are belief systems and religions the same and/or different? What significance do sacred places have in religions? Students will now be ready to take on the Socratic Seminar. Socratic seminars are named for Socrates' belief in the power of asking questions, prizing inquiry over information and discussion over debate. Socratic seminars acknowledge the highly social nature of learning and align with the work of John Dewey, Lev Vygotsky, John Piaget, and Paulo Freire. The Socratic Seminar is a formal discussion based on a text in which the leader asks open-ended questions. Within the context of the discussion, students listen closely to the comments of others, thinking critically for themselves, and articulate their own thoughts and their responses to the thoughts of others. They learn to work cooperatively and to question intelligently and civilly. Choosing a text. Socratic seminars work best with authentic texts that invite authentic inquiry. An ambiguous and appealing short story, a pair of contrasting primary documents in social studies, or an article on a controversial approach to an ongoing scientific problem. In the context of learning about religions, students have various sources to choose from for their discussions: artworks and sculptures, religious texts, photographs and information about pilgrimage sites and their historical or religious significance, diagrams, written stories and myths, or articles about these religions. Preparing the students. While students should read carefully and prepare well for every class session, it is usually best to tell students ahead of time when they will be expected to participate in a Socratic seminar. Because seminars ask students to keep focusing back on the text, you may distribute sticky notes for students to use to annotate the text as they read. Once the text or artifact has been selected, give students time to analyze it before the discussion. Make notes, highlight, use sticky notes, as well as come up with questions, statements, connections, and text-based arguments. Preparing the questions. Though students may eventually be given responsibility for running the entire session, the teacher usually fills the role of discussion leader as students learn about seminars and questioning. Generate as many open-ended questions as possible, aiming for questions whose value lies in their exploration, not their answer. Alfie Israel recommends starting and ending with questions that relate more directly to students' lives, so the entire conversation is rooted in the context of their real experiences. The more open-ended questions students generate, the better it will be for the discussion. Establishing student expectations. Because student inquiry and thinking are central to the philosophy of Socratic seminars, it is an authentic move to include students in the establishment of norms for the seminar. Begin by asking students to differentiate between behaviors that characterize debate, persuasion, prepared rebuttals, clear sides, and those that characterize discussion, inquiry, responses that grow from the thoughts of others, communal spirit. Ask students to hold themselves accountable for the norms they agree upon. Establishing teacher role. Though you may assume leadership through determining which open-ended questions students will explore at first, the teacher should not see him or herself as a significant participant in the pursuit of those questions. You may find it useful to limit your intrusions to helpful reminders about procedures. For example, maybe this is a good time to turn our attention back to the text, or do we feel ready to explore a different aspect of the text? Resist the urge to correct or redirect, relying instead on other students to respectfully challenge their peers' interpretations or offer alternative views. Assessing effectiveness. Socratic seminars require assessment that respects the central nature of student centered inquiry to their success. The most global measure of success is reflection, by both the teacher and the students, on the degree to which text centered student talk dominated the time and work of the session. Reflective writing, asking students to describe their participation and set their own goals for future seminars, can be effective as well. Understand that, like the seminars themselves, the process of gaining capacity for inquiring into text is more important than getting it right at any particular point. Reflecting upon the discussion and each person's contribution is at the heart of the Socratic Seminar.